Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason. No surprise, this one about Baker Mayfield, the quarterback.
Hey, this is Ray from Canton, Ohio, Pro Football Hall of Fame City. I think Baker is going to be just fine. We act like he didn't lead the team to the playoffs and beat our arch rival on the road, even had Big Ben crying. He played injured. Let's try to get two dynamic receivers into the offense. Let Baker heal up, use this fifth year as a real accurate evaluation. I think we'll know more going into the middle of next season. Thank you.
All right, fair enough. Wants to be patient with Baker Mayfield. And, Tom, that's something this franchise hasn't been a lot, is patient. So, again, I think the ownership feels they've got the head coach and they've got the general manager, and they're going to let them make the football decisions. So that's good.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I think Ray makes some good points, and that is the argument, as far as keeping Baker, is that let him get through this surgery, let him heal up, hope that he learns some lessons from last year, hope that they can get some more complementary offensive players around him, and that he comes back and he plays well, and you extend him for another 5 years, and we all live happily ever after. I just don't know. Dave, as I said to you earlier, I think the fact that we're 4 years in to his career here and we're still having these conversations really says a lot to me. There's always been questions about his size and whether or not he sees well enough down the field. We've talked about his comportment off the field and whether or not that's a liability or not, or something that, the team wants to have going forward. I think another thing that they have to evaluate this offseason is, does this offensive scheme that they're running, which is that 13 personnel that Kevin Stefanski favors so much, that is so tight end friendly, is that the right one for this quarterback? And is this quarterback the right one for that system? Is there a possibility that they could change the scheme a little bit? I can see that. There's also been a lot of talk about the relationship between Mayfield and Stefanski. And I think it's actually pretty good. I do think that they get along. I mean, like anyone else, you have a disagreement with your boss, or you don't see things exactly the same way at times. But I think that's part of this discussion as well. So again, I don't know what they're going to do. I do think they're going to examine every possible scenario before they decide to hand him the ball and hand him the keys to the car again in 2022.
Yeah, and let's get this out there too. When you're losing, everything is magnified. So the quarterback head coach relationship on a team that only wins 8 games when they're expected to be a playoff team, yeah, it's going to struggle. There's going to be tension. There should be tension, quite frankly.
There should be tension. That's exactly right.
They put a lot of time in.
Yeah, and getting back to your patience point, that's part of it. This can't be knee-jerk reactionary, right? The frustration has mounted. Now maybe there's this little cooling off period and everybody kind of takes a step back and says, okay, how do we get this guy back to how he was at the end of the 2020 season? And if it's as simple as, and we don't know exactly the extent of that injury, if it's as simple as him getting that labrum fixed and getting him healthy and getting him back out there with a couple of more pieces, then fine. If that's the answer, then fine. But if you're still worried about, again, his decision-making and whether or not he's an elite quarterback who can take his team on a game-winning drive when the game is on the line, then you got bigger questions.